everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to show you the Travis picking technique. And this is really aimed at beginners, at first-time users of this technique. So we're going to go over just like the basic bare bones of how to do it, and in lieu of doing just a boring exercise, we're actually going to use like the intro verse, like kind of main riff from the song Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, because it uses this technique. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at this. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, let's just go over the three chords that we're going to be using for this. And by the way, if you want to be in the same key as Fleetwood Mac is, you're going to need to put a capo on the 3rd fret, but you can play this without the capo, just in, regularly. It's just not going to be in the same key. It'll sound a little different, but as far as practicing the technique and everything, it's not going to make any difference. Alright, so the first chord we have is C. So 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and this is relevant to the capo, by the way. So 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the D string, G string is open, and I'm on the 1st fret of the B string with my 1st finger. Alright, so the next chord is B over G. So that'd be like B/G. So to make this transition simple, we're just going to leave our 1st finger here. Just going to leave your 1st finger there on the 1st fret of the B string. We're going to take our 4th finger and we're going to put it here onto the 3rd fret of the B string. We're going to remove our 3rd finger and move our 2nd finger from the 2nd fret of the D string to the 2nd fret of the A string. That's B over G. And then the next and final chord is A minor 7. So for this, we're just going to take our 4th finger back off and move our middle finger from the A string back to the 2nd fret of the D string. And in the chord progression, it just goes from C to G over B to A minor 7, and then back to B over G, and then back to C. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is maybe just work with making those changes. So don't really worry about, you can just kind of strum if you want. You just want to get it so you can make these chord changes smoothly. Alright, so now let's take a look at what we're going to be doing with our fret or our picking hand. Alright, so for our picking hand, your thumb is going to be playing the A string and the D string. And then your 1st finger, there's 2 ways that you can do this. So one way you can have your 1st finger plays the G string, and then your 2nd finger plays the B string. But personally, especially for this particular piece, I find it much easier just to use my thumb and my 1st finger. So if you're relatively new to fingerstyle guitar, this is going to make it a lot easier anyway. So put your fingers on to do the C chord. And we're going to start off, we're going to put our thumb on the A string and our 1st finger on the G string. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pluck with our thumb, and when we do this, we want our thumb just to come and come to a rest on the 4th string like that. And then with your 1st finger, and the motion kind of like you're pulling a trigger, you want to pull that. You don't want where you're pulling your whole hand back like this. You kind of want it to just be, see, my arm isn't really moving, or my hand. In fact, I've got my pinky just kind of right here on the edge of where the sound hole is, just to kind of rest my arm. So for this picking pattern, we're going to go A string to G string, and then we just shift up and we go D string to B string. So at first, just practice this. A, G, D, B, A, G, D, B, just like that. Alright, so this picking pattern, we go A, G, D, B, A, G, D. And you're going to use your thumb to hit the D string. Just like that. Now, you're going to do that sequence once per chord. So we're starting with the C, the G over B, A minor 7, back to G over B, back to C. Alright, so with this, if you look on the tabs, you can see that all the notes are equally spaced apart from each other except that last D. It rings out for just a second longer to kind of give you that transition. So, now, when the song, I can't remember how many beats per minute, it's like 70 beats per minute or something, so it's not really fast. But to be able to play it in that time with this technique is difficult. I played this song for a long time and just did it with regular finger picking style, but it didn't. It was always something that just kind of sounded a little bit off. It was like the right notes, but something just didn't quite sound right. And how it's this, there's that there's just something about that with the thumb in this style that just gives it its unique sound. Just like that. Alright, so there you have it. That just a small little introduction to doing the Travis picking technique. There's lots and lots of material, lots and lots of country songs and stuff that use this, folk music that uses this style of playing. So this is just kind of a good exercise to kind of get, both your hands, well, mainly your picking hand, up to speed on doing this, and practicing these chord transitions. That's a good exercise for your left hand regardless. Like I said, it's a little more interesting to play a song than it is to play an exercise, but this just makes into a great exercise. So what I encourage you to do is just work on it slowly and build up your speed. And even if you can work it up to you can play it faster than they're playing it, it might sound weird, it might not sound like the song, but it's just going to be good overall for your playing, especially if you get into, I've heard some songs in this style and stuff that they're pretty quick and they're hard to play and hard to keep up if you're not good at the technique. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below if there's something you'd like to see in a future lesson, either from myself or for one of the other instructors at GuitarControl.com. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Anyhow, that is all I got for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.